and welcome to the Moose Hunt Podcast. I'm your host, Rob Fickett, and today we have a special guest on coming all the way from New Brunswick, Canada. And some of you might already follow him on Facebook, Instagram, social media, and stuff like that. Nathan Robinson Photography. And right now we have on Mr. Nathan Robinson. How you doing today, bud?
Great, buddy. How are you, Rob?
I'm good, man. I'm good. We were talking beforehand about some fiasco I got going on trying to do a favor for the in-laws, but
Yeah.
here we are. I'd rather be out looking for moose, but
Yeah, me too.
You know how that goes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you live in New Brunswick?
I do. Yeah, I live in Fredericton, New Brunswick. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Cool.
Yeah, which is about an hour's drive to the Holton border. So.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So you're not that too far out from us. Cool.
Very close.
Yeah, probably hunting the same moose.
Oh, definitely some of them. We've seen we've seen moose that we probably each of us have seen for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny how that works. That's pretty cool, man. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Yeah. So this episode is just completely low key. It's just, we're going to see, pretty much tell us who you are, how you got into the outdoors, why you love the mighty moose, just like we do. And I'm going to let you roll with it for a little bit, and I'm going to come up with some questions as we go, man.
Cool. Well, first off, I just want to say thank you so much for having me on. I've been a big fan of the podcast since I think when I first started watching it, there was like 5 or 6 podcasts out. So
that's about when I started too. Then that's cool.
And I have learned so much from you guys. So it's a friggin' awesome honor to just be on here. So yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Man. So yeah, I am from New Brunswick, Canada. And like Rob says, I probably have seen some of the same moose that the OMM guys have seen. So, because I do a lot of my moose in that northwestern kind of region of the province. But to give you a little bit of background about who I am and how I get into what I'm doing today is, used to be an avid snowmobiler, always of course, into hunting and fishing. But really snowmobiling was kind of the spark to my moose interest. Back in the day when I was a kid, we actually used to do March break trips. We actually went over into the Eagle Lake and Portage area.
Oh, nice. Our stomping grounds. Yeah, I love Portage so much.
So I actually don't remember seeing a whole lot of moose back then, but I remember it was just always phenomenal snowmobiling over there. And when I started watching the podcast, I was like, there was kind of a connection there, like a reconnect, right?
Oh, that's awesome.
I was like, man, I remember that area. And we always stayed on Eagle Lake somewhere at it's called Old Mill Marina, you guys call this place. And yeah. I don't know if it would be the same place or not, but it was some marina that they actually opened up for people to stay snowmobiling. So I don't know if it'd be the same place or not.
Yeah, but, I don't know. Actually, it's fun because I don't know anything about Eagle Lake before I came on with OMM. Like I had always been on the Caribou side. I have family that lives in Caribou and Presque Isle and stuff like that.
Yep.
So any of the history of Eagle Lake, I have no idea. I just know we also have like the Eagle Lake Inn, which is like, basically right across the street from the marina.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, another thing to mention is I was born in Perth, Andover, which is even closer to, Caribou, Presque Isle area where you're from. So anyways, yeah, I spent a lot of time up in that northwestern section of the province. And later on, like when I was in my late teens and early 20s, still snowmobiling, you're into moose hunting, and then you just I just started seeing all these moose. And I think that was probably maybe the time that our moose population was really exploding in that part of the province. And it become my days out on my snowmobile become more of a moose adventure than anything, because if we didn't see any moose, I didn't have a fun day snowmobiling. So it was always a challenge of, getting out on the trails first, being the first ones out there at daybreak and doing a loop and seeing how many moose you could see. So then so that sparked my moose interest, and of course getting into moose hunting and stuff. I didn't actually start moose hunting until I was in my early 20s. But in
how old are you right now, if you don't mind me asking?
I am 40, going on 46.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So,
so you've been at it for quite some time then.
Yeah. Well,
that's awesome.
The photography part, just about 10 years, but actually searching for moose, I've been around a little bit. So, but I guess it was like 2015. I got lucky and drew a New Brunswick moose tag and harvested a beautiful 50-inch bull. And it was like something triggered in me, because at the same time I'm always out fishing. At that time yeah, I was still snowmobiling at that time. But you're fishing and hunting, and you're having these crazy encounters, and you're going home and telling people about them, and your wife and your family, and people just kept saying, "Well, you need to like get a camera or something." And so I was like, "Yeah, I should get a camera." So I guess that was 2016, and
Mhm.
I picked up a camera to take some pictures of my wildlife encounters and moose hunts, and here we are today. I'm almost 2 years now as a full-time photographer.
Oh, so you
And
do this full time?
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So
that's awesome, man.
yeah, now it's not all wildlife stuff, but I do a lot of my guided wildlife tours. Moose tours are the most popular thing. But I also shoot some real estate stuff and some event stuff, some sports. I do a lot
Yeah.
of bass tournaments in New Brunswick, fishing tournaments,
Okay.
and so anything really to be outside, and it's a real honor and a real blessing to be able to hold a camera and actually make money with it. It's something I never dreamt of. It just kind of fell into my pocket, I guess, and I just had the opportunity and went with it. So here we
Yeah,
are today.
that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
something that, a hobby and something that you like really like to do actually turned into your full-time gig.
Yeah, it's hard
Yeah.
to even imagine someday that it actually happened. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
I guess one of my questions was so do you still, because you do a lot on foot and snowshoes and stuff, do you still do a lot of sledding? Like,
I
do you sled
don't
into spots or?
I don't. I got out of sledding, I'm gonna say probably 11 or 12 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Had a bad accident and it wasn't
Oof.
the same after, and
Yeah.
uh and so I just kind of got out of it, and yeah, I just basically I get to where my vehicle will take me, but I really enjoy being on my feet when I encounter wildlife. It's just there's nothing like it. Like I know you know what it's
Yeah, oh
like.
yeah.
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 Up
Yeah.
close and personal. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's cool,
Yep.
man. So how many miles do you, or how far do you usually travel on snowshoe?
I'm gonna say it really depends on the going. I think on snowshoe, probably like a 10 to 14 kilometer, I guess you would say. I'm talking kilometers. So,
Yeah,
like
I
an
got to
eight,
pull out
yeah,
conversions
yeah,
here.
like a 10-mile hike in snowshoes for me would probably be way on the upper
I
scale.
was gonna say that's a
That's
haul in
that's
snowshoes.
that's a
That's yeah.
haul in snowshoes. I don't know. I wouldn't do that very often. Now, when I'm on foot, I've gone, you'd be like upwards in the 15K
Yeah.
or 15-mile mark on foot for sure, especially if you're shed hunting or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess back to the whole photography and video thing. So
Yep.
um do you do moose hunts every year? So you video and photographer for like specific outfitters.
Yes.
What do
Each
you
year,
do with all that?
the past 4 years, I've been filming for Long Lake Adventures in central northern New Brunswick.
Mhm.
So I go there and I spend 4 or 5 days there for their sport or their client that usually comes in. It's usually a person from like the States. And so I do their film, and I actually go up there a lot through the summer, the spring, summer, and fall. And I actually spend upwards to 6 weeks in that area each fall from mid-September to November. So yeah,
Yeah,
spent a
that's
lot of
awesome.
time up there. Yep.
Yeah, are you doing like wildlife tours in between and
I
stuff
am.
like that? So you're
I
basically just like hanging out in the same area.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Yeah.
basically in my fall, my 5 or 6 week stint up in the fall, I'm basically, by week 2 or 3, I've kinda dialed into where the moose should be,
Yep.
and I book most of my clients for October, a few in September, and, so then when I'm not, I guess, other than now, I don't do my tours during the week of our 5-day
Mhm.
moose hunt, but other than that, it's game on, and then through the summer, I will do a few tours up there in the summer, but mainly I'll base my tours out of Fredericton. I got some areas that are within an hour's drive outside of Fredericton to take clients to, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's cool. Do you do any like client style shed hunts and stuff like that? Or you
Um,
just doing that all with yourself?
I haven't yet. I have a lot of clients that would be interested in doing that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, right now, our laws in New Brunswick, you're not allowed to transport. There's kind of a weird thing going on right now with New Brunswick. You're not allowed to transport supposedly out of the province. That's a big
Is
story in
that anything
itself.
or just antlers?
Or antlers. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Or
So how does that work if you have a like for the hunting clients and
see,
stuff like that?
because you would have special permits and stuff. So it seems to be a little bit different with our antler situation, which actually we're in the process of getting that cleared up, but that stuff just takes time. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So what's the reason for that?
I think I'm not exactly sure, but I'm sure it just comes to some old law that was written,
Yeah.
50 or however many years ago, and it was never really changed. And up until recently, shed hunting wasn't really a big thing in New Brunswick.
Yeah.
So now that people are doing it a lot more, it's just, I guess it's become an issue. So yeah.
I definitely you just saying not more people are doing it now. It seems like the last, geez, even just 3 years, 4 years, just seems like shed hunting is just blown up. And
It's crazy.
it seems like social media has a
Yeah.
lot to do with
Oh,
that.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah,
And
yeah, it's
and
pretty great. Like somebody's like, "Oh, geez, I can find that," or like somebody posts like, "Just found this on the road." Now,
mhm.
boom, everybody's hammering the roads.
Yeah, yeah. Like I've only been, this will be, I think, my fourth year shed hunting, and it's addicting. Like
Mhm.
to me, finding a big bull shed is almost as much fun as finding a bull. Like
Yeah,
I don't know.
I like finding the little sheds too.
Oh, even the little
Any
sheds.
shed.
Yeah,
I'm any shed guy.
like I mean, finding them on the road is one thing, but when you're like beating through the bush all
Hmm.
day and you find one, you can't explain it to anybody. You got to go do it yourself and put in the time and find one, because then it's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it really,
Mm.
especially it's pretty cool to find like the old white ones.
Yeah.
They're not, I mean, they're not as like cool and fresh as the brown ones, obviously, but you're
Yeah.
just like, how is nobody else has found this yet? Because if they did, they probably would have picked it up,
Oh yeah.
especially if it was fresher.
Yeah.
So it's like, geez, how many years has this been laying
Yeah.
here?
Like I found a really nice an old white. It's probably 5 or 6 years old, and I found it last fall when I was just scouting for clients, and it was laying right in a heavy moose path.
Yeah.
So you're just thinking, how many moose have walked over this shed in the last 5 years? Because moose are walking there every
Yeah.
day. It's just cool. Like if you could only, like, those sheds, they have a story that you just
Hmm.
wonder about, right? It's just the majestic part of the whole moose deal, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, those old ones are pretty cool.
Mm,
Some you guys have like a huge bear population and stuff
we
up
do.
there
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
So in the spring, will the bears eat on the sheds? You can kind of see like out of the paddles, like big chunks
Yeah.
sticking out.
Yeah. You gotta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
a couple of maybe 3 years ago, I took my dog shed heading up in a spot that myself and Kenny, my teammate Kenny, we've hunted quite a bit, and we were shed hunting up there, and my dog found this shed. He's not a shed dog by any means. He just happened to like, he just runs amok and then like he'll just sit. Be like,
Yeah.
oh, he found one. Anyways, he's like sitting like in this like clump of 4 or 5 spruces,
Mhm.
and he's like, you can't see him, and he's just sitting there. And I'm like, oh, did you find one? Did you find one? And yeah, he found one that had been like half eaten by a bear. And it was, I should have grabbed it before this, but I'm not getting up. Anyways, it was a nice, big, huge front. So it was almost like a paddle as the fronts. And I sent a picture to Kenny. And like a week later, Kenny sends me a picture and he's like, dude, I found the other side. And I'm like, no
Nice.
way. And they were like a few hundred yards apart. But it was just funny that, like, a few weeks later, he went into the same cut and found the whole other side
Yeah.
of like that same year. Like it
Hmm.
was still like half chewed up and stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah, just find those old whites are
Yeah.
awesome.
It's so cool. Me and my buddy Derek Burgoyne, we've got these moose that I've filmed some of the moose, and we see them on our cameras every year. And we end up finding the actual sheds from these moose that we've been watching
Yeah.
year after year. And
Yeah, that's the same thing we do. So,
it's
yeah.
so cool. I know you guys do it. It's so cool. Like, you guys have all these names for all your moose, and it just creates. I've found that shed hunting has created another dimension to moose in general, like
Yep.
moose hunting or searching for moose, whatever you want to call it.
Well,
Yeah,
especially since because a lot of people can't moose hunt every year.
exactly.
So
Yep.
I mean, we're lucky. Well, you're lucky with videoing and
Yep.
photography and stuff, and then you also have a guy's license, and then I
Yep.
guide, so we get to do it every year.
Yep.
But a lot of people can't. So, like you say,
Yeah.
it creates that connection with them, and it's pretty cool because you can kind of follow the life.
Yes. Yeah. And
You
you
know,
learn so much. Like, it's just,
yeah,
you're constantly driving down roads, and, oh, that might be a moose wintering area. That's not over there. And it's
yeah,
the stuff that you learn, like, it's crazy. Like, a part of my guiding clients to photograph moose is to actually teach them how to find moose. And it's
Oh,
you
you're
can
giving away all your secrets. At least they're
yeah,
paying you.
yeah.
That's cool.
but but people don't realize that it's like one way to find moose is you don't actually have to see the moose. You just have to realize where they have been or where they're gonna be again.
Yep.
And that's what I've really realized with shed hunting is you're going out and you're finding wintering areas like in the spring. And then
Yep.
oh, I can come back here in November and December and there's gonna be bulls there. Like it's
Yep.
helped so much. And people just ask, well, why are you going out shed hunting? You're looking for moose in the spring of the year, and it's like, well, it's going to help me out in November.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's all. Do you guys have a November?
No.
How does your hunting season work?
Yeah, our season runs the third week of September, which is I think the same week as one of
Yep.
your guys' hunts. But we have a 5-day hunt, so it's Tuesday to Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just one hunt?
Just one hunt. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
so our woods are jam packed for that 1 week.
Oh, I believe it. Jeez.
It is crazy. Yeah. Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
always seems to be a tough hunt. You can have the moose dialed in
Yeah.
pre-hunt, and then they just disappear. And I think it's they realize that come that weekend before our hunt, there's friggin' 10,000 extra vehicles traveling the woods, and I think that's what shuts them down. And it just
Yeah.
creates
It
a
probably
hard
pushes
hunt.
them further in the woods too. That's what
Oh,
we've noticed
oh,
is
for sure.
they're in there.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah,
can get lucky on the road or standing in the middle of a cut, but sometimes
yeah.
you gotta get to the back of everything and push.
And
Yeah.
I think I've heard you guys talk about it, and I know you guys have to go in for your big bulls a lot. And I think you guys have mentioned that the moose seem to be genetically maybe getting smarter and
I think
realizing
so.
that.
Yep.
And it's like because it seems like up here, like gone are the days that you can rely on walking down a road and calling consistently every year, calling in big bulls. You call in the
Uh-huh.
young satellites and the young guys, but it seems like to consistently get those nice, 45-inch and up class bulls, you gotta go in for them if you want them every year. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. And
Hmm.
they're just getting educated. We're just hammering them,
Yep, they are.
And
Yep.
we said this thing this year. I actually don't know if we covered it in a podcast or not, but we think might be even educating them. So they're learning how we're doing stuff, and so
Hmm.
I don't think we covered it. We might have covered it in the Q&A. Anyways, we're noticing that some of our tactics that have worked for years aren't really working, and then
Hmm.
somebody else's is like, "What did you do?" And they're like,
Yep.
"Geez, I never would have thought to try that." And
Yep.
it's like I think we're educated because we're hunting the same areas, the same moose year after year after year. And I
Yep.
think they're learning how we're doing stuff.
They're learning. Yeah, for sure. I remember when I first went up to Long Lake Adventures and started working with Clay Harrison, who was the owner.
Yeah,
I was kind of, trying to learn the area, driving a lot of roads and stuff. And Clay'd be like, well, go check this area out. And I'd go and I'd be like, no, I'd just take like a whip through in the vehicle, right? Just a quick look,
yeah,
looking for tracks and stuff like that. I'd be like, Clay, I don't see any tracks. There's no sign up there. And he's like, they don't have to travel on the roads, buddy. And it's so true because case in point, I was actually scouting with Clay this fall before moose season, and we were out in this area, and I just went for a little walk, and there wasn't a whole lot of tracks or fresh tracks on the road, but man, when I stepped off that road, like
uh-huh.
within like 10 yards of that road, there was a beat down path
Yeah,
that paralleled the road. So
yeah,
they're getting smart.
yeah. The roads are always, or the sides of the road are always deceiving because sometimes you could be driving down the road and like you can't see anything. Like the side of the road is so thick, and but you just break that 10-yard bubble. It can be a
Hmm.
nice open forest, and you're
Yeah.
like, and like you say, you can have giant moose paths going down.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
it's
learning.
getting out of the vehicle, man. It makes a big difference. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you'll always have those people that can't. Well, we've had some clients the past few
oh
years that just can't. You have to
yeah, oh yeah, yeah,
road hunt
yeah.
or
I get
just
that. Yep,
yeah.
yep, yeah.
But
And it's not the style for everybody. I get
no.
that, but I think to be consistently successful now, you got to put some boots on the ground and go in.
Yeah, and like you say, like you're doing, year round.
Yeah.
You know,
And
find them in the spring, find
yep.
them in the winter.
And it's that like I hunted moose a lot before I got a camera, but it wasn't until I got a camera and really started to spend time in the woods is really and actually spending time with a camera watching moose instead
Hmm.
of, you're calling a bull in on a hunt, you're pulling the trigger, wham bam, it's done. The work
Hmm.
begins. But it's spending time with a moose, going back and reviewing footage that I've taken and realizing, oh, they do eat that. They do eat that leaf at that time of year. I didn't even know until last year that moose would really feed on like I'm talking like yellow, red, like almost dead like leaves and stuff like that. And you just get
Really?
video of them actually trimming those leaves off and taking it down. It's like, really? Okay. So how important is that those green leaves? I know that is money, but
Yeah. Are you talking
um
about like foliage leaves,
yeah,
like
yeah,
what
yeah.
the leaves that have turned,
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah,
that? Yeah.
yeah, yeah, like, I didn't really realize that they I
Yeah.
thought they were just maybe eating the twigs and stuff, but I didn't
Yeah.
actually see it until I went back and watched a video that I had taken of this bull moose just stripping
Yeah.
those old leaves off. So they're finding nutrients in it,
I
and I
mean, you
didn't
got to
realize
think
that.
they're eating, what, 20, 30, 40 pounds of food a day. So
Mm, yeah,
it's a lot
yeah,
of food, man.
yeah, I guess they can't be picky, right?
Yeah, especially when it comes to like vegetation. It's not like they're, grilling up a steak.
Mm, exactly,
Yeah, they're
exactly.
eating leaves and twigs.
Yep,
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
yep,
So I guess I got some questions on the whole photography and video side, maybe
yep,
equipment style.
'kay.
What do you run?
I
Like
actually
a
got
camera. Like what do
my
you use for a
camera.
camera?
I use a Canon. Not that Canon's anything better than anything else. Nikon,
Yeah.
Panasonic, Sony, they all make good stuff. But this is
You use the same thing for video, so same
I
camera,
do,
pictures and video.
I do. These are a little bit harder, I find, to run for video than like your standard camcorder.
Yeah.
Um, but um, but where it's got the like, I'm naturally still a photo guy,
Yeah.
so I've still got to run one of these because I still like to take those pictures.
Yeah.
But
So not to interrupt,
no,
well, I
that's right.
guess to interrupt, but
Yeah.
so you were saying not like the camcorder versus a
Versus
handheld
like
like
a
that. Are you
DSLR.
talking about shakiness in the video? Is that what you're
Um,
talking about?
no, I'm
Or
just like ease of the simplicity of just focusing with a standard
okay.
camcorder. Like they're just built to to be able to be run a little bit easier than these cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But as
Okay.
far as stability, actually a camcorder might be a little bit easier to stabilize too, because these things with those big lenses on the front of them,
Yeah,
it's yeah.
that's why I brought that up.
Yep.
Because I think some of the camcorders, especially some of the Sonys, they have like that built-in gimbal in it, like with the
Yeah.
lens.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess some of the Sony lenses with the image stabilization built into the lens,
Yep.
it kind of has the same kind of concept. But
Yep.
I
Yep.
noticed, especially after we just did this um trip down to Texas
Mm-hmm.
for a veteran deer hunt that we did, and I'm trying to film all these deer, and my lens is nothing like yours. I have
Mm-hmm.
my camera's the Sony ZV-10E2 or something like that.
Okay.
And I got a Tamron lens on it, 18 to 300. Anyways, so I'm zooming into 100 yards on these things, trying to get better. And I think it looks awesome through the little screen on the camera. I get back, put it on the computer, and it's like shaky. I'm
Yeah.
like, dang it, dude.
Yeah,
Like it
I
looked
know.
awesome when I was filming.
300 yards is a long shot. Even my camera, I've got to be within that 100-yard range to get good quality
Yeah.
images or video.
So
Yeah.
so I know I interrupted you, but what's the rest of the stuff that you run on your camera? Like I noticed you had a gigantic lens.
Uh, yeah. So that's a 100. This is a 100 to 400. And I do
Okay.
have a 1.4 extender. So I'm reaching out to almost 1,000 millimeters. But what
Yeah.
you got to think about when you're using these long lenses is it's kind of like a scope. Think of it as a scope. If you're looking at a moose that's 100 yards away, you're you're not going to shake as much as if that moose is 500 yards away because the 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 amount of shake at 100 yards is this much, but
Yeah.
out farther it's more, right?
Yeah.
So the bigger lens you get, the worse off the shake is going to be, the more you have to deal with. Um, so yeah, that's a 400 millimeter lens isn't actually that big. It's kind of like a mid grade, but that's one reason why I haven't gone out and gone to like a 6 or an 800 lens because I
Yeah.
know it's going to be even worse. The stability will be a little bit worse. And you know what? I enjoy those close encounters.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, so
Yeah.
do you run that same lens for everything? So like you just keep that on your camera and run that for everything. So even if you do have those close-up shots, you're still running, would you say it
Yep.
was 100?
100. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I do have like on my moose hunts, I am carrying another camera body with a 24 to 70 on it, which will
Oh,
give me
okay.
a wide.
Oh, geez, so you're just
Yeah.
walking around with two
Oh,
cameras.
that's crazy. Yeah. Yeah. The guys always joke about who's going to be carrying your bag this year. And it's always me. Yeah.
That's
but,
funny.
but something to consider is, the iPhones these days.
Yeah.
They take some great stuff. I haven't looked at it yet. I've looked at it online some, but the new iPhone 17, I guess, has some pretty cool zoom capabilities, even though it does like go from optical zoom into
Yeah.
digitally.
Yeah.
But it looks pretty ridiculous, really, what it can do. And I'm actually thinking about maybe this year purchasing one just for those closer encounters, just to have.
Yeah. You're talking
It
about having like a separate one from like what you use as a regular cell phone, like just having an iPhone?
No, just having it as my
Oh, yeah.
regular phone.
Yeah.
But when those really close encounters happen, is just have that iPhone because the content that you can capture with a phone is unbelievable. Like I
You know
use
what's crazy is the microphone on the iPhone is actually pretty good too. Like
mm,
capturing videos, like it's pretty nuts how like you can, hear a bull grunt better
yeah,
almost on a phone versus like in person. It's so
yeah,
weird.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It is. It's crazy what they can do, and a lot of people don't realize the capabilities that they have in their own hands already.
Yeah.
Like some people will ask me, well, what should I get for a camera? Well, start with your phone. If you can't take a good picture with your phone, you're never going to take a good picture with a $10,000 camera. Trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Mm.
usually not the equipment, it's the
It's
operator.
it's figuring out the light, your
Yeah.
composition, and what you're taking a photograph of. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's what it's all about. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool, man. Yeah, that stuff always because I'm trying to get into it, trying to do it. I didn't really do any of it until I started this a year ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like try to film hunts on my phone and stuff like kill shots and stuff like that. But
Hmm.
once I took this over, I was like, I want to like film hunts,
Yeah.
take pictures and stuff. And like as I'm doing it, it's like you say, it's not as easy as you
No.
think it is. It's
And
not
if
just point and shoot and doing stuff.
Yeah.
It's
And if you're
yeah.
guiding, it's even harder because you're in
Ah,
that guide mode. Like when I'm with clients guiding them, I have my camera and stuff, and I always try to be like, I always say, okay, this year I'm going to take content of my clients photographing and enjoying the moose,
mhm,
right? Get that aspect, same as if you're filming a hunt. But when you're guiding, when you're trying to call in a moose or you're trying to be quiet or you're trying to get your client into the best position to see this animal, it's man, it's tough to switch back from guide to photographer and
Oh,
it's
100%. Because
it's
sometimes I think uh, Cody McDonald and myself were talking about this down in Texas because like some stuff I wish I got better footage of, and then some stuff I wish I was paying more attention to the client versus getting footage.
hmm
My client's one of her kill shots on her buck. I'm videoing it and I got the buck in the camera. Everything's perfect. And as soon as she shot, I scared the crap out of me. And I shook it. It shut the camera off because I hit the record button again with my finger.
yeah.
It's like all I got was like the bang. And I was like, dang it. Because I was focusing so hard on the camera. I wasn't like paying
Yep.
attention to her and knowing when she was going to shoot. And
Yeah. That happened to me this year in our moose hunt. I always have like a monopod on my camera. Um that just helps with stability and
so
stuff.
like, almost like a stick.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
basically it's almost it basically just hooks to the bottom of my camera and it's
Yeah.
something I can rest it on.
Ah,
And
smart. Yeah.
and what happened was we get on to some moose Thursday morning with the client and I totally it was like I was trying to it's hard to so the guy that's shooting the bull or the moose, he's got to be able to see, but I've also got to be able to see because I got to get
Yeah.
that kill shot, right? So I was more worried about, we had to do some shuffling around, and I was more worried about me being able to see because I knew he could see. So I had to be in position too. And I totally
Hmm.
forgot to drop my monopod. And when that muzzle brake went off, I got way too much shake. And then he hit it once, then he hit it again. And on both of them, it was just like, ooh, like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, frig, screwed up a little bit. But yeah, it was a great hunt. He got a nice bowl and yeah,
Yeah.
whatever.
That's funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate seeing moose and not being ready with a camera, which stinks because it's like you should just enjoy it. But
Yeah.
I went up scouting, oh, this past August. I think it was August. Anyways, I'm driving down the road. I have the camera next to me, not out and ready, just like in the box, you know, and I'm like, oh, I'll take it out when I get to my first spot that I'm gonna go check my or put out my camera. And I'm going down and boom. See this nice 40-inch bull in velvet on the side of the road. And I was like, oh, sweet, awesome. So I'm trying to like film it with my phone. And I was like, no, I want to get my good camera because I want to zoom all in. So I'm like trying to open up the tough box. And I get the camera out and he starts to move and comes back onto the road. And I was like, oh, geez. So I get out of the truck and I'm walking down the road. I open the camera up, start shooting. No SIM card. I was like, no. So I'm like, the moose is standing in the middle of the road watching me. And I'm like trying to shuffle backwards to the truck, like
Yeah.
trying to make it look like I'm not walking, but I'm just going backwards. And I'm like, I get to the truck, I get the SIM card out, I turn back around and he's gone. And I was like, dang it.
You might as well have just jumped in the truck and left.
Yeah, it's just one of it's like yeah. So now like even before I hit the dirt where I'm going, I'm taking my camera out of the box, putting it in the center console
Yep.
next to me. I make sure everything's in it.
Yeah. Yeah, mine's right on my lap. I got a kind of a similar story this winter. It was back in December in one of the early snowfalls we had. And it was just one of those perfect, beautiful mornings. There was a heavy snowfall the day before. And so I'm out in my snowshoes and I'm walking this road and there's these strip cuts up on the right-hand side where moose have been bedding down and stuff. And it was really windy that morning, which was perfect day for sneaking up on a moose. And and it was windy and it was blowing all that fresh snow off of the trees and it's just sparkling. Like you know what it
Yeah.
looks like, right? It's just beautiful. And so I come up along one of those strip cuts and there's this bull bedded down like not 30 yards from me.
Yeah.
And so anyways, I dropped down to my knees and I grabbed my camera and it's just like picturesque. The sun's hitting them this way. You see all the snow kind of fluttering around, sparkling and all this stuff. And he's just sitting there, not a big bull, probably like a 35-inch bull. And so I grabbed my camera, put my camera up, and I had I had a card malfunction is what I had.
Oh,
And
I haven't had that yet.
I have been doing this for 10 years and I have never had a card malfunction.
Oh man.
And so my camera actually jammed up and I couldn't like it wouldn't read the card or the card wasn't reading it wasn't talking to the camera right. I don't know
Yeah.
what was going on. So I'm frigging with it, switching back from video to photo and back. And so the bull stands up, he's looking at me. And so I'm like, well, I tried to turn the camera off. The camera wouldn't even turn off. It was like totally locked down. And so anyways, I turned it off, took the battery out, shoved it back in. When I got the camera back up, he was walking away from me and disappeared. And it was
Did
just
it
like,
work when you brought it back up?
oh yeah, it worked fine. Yeah. So it was just one of those moments that I can still see the bull laying there in front of me. And it was just like, probably it was so beautiful, but
Yeah.
yet it just, that's hunting.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
So
I've had those
frustrating.
experiences in
Yeah.
just regular hunting, not even like with a camera. It's
Yeah.
just like, yeah, you're like, what? How did that just happen?
Yep. Yeah. I think that's one of the coolest things about wildlife photography is to find wildlife. Like the hardest thing to find is wildlife in good light. When you're hunting an animal, it doesn't matter if it's in good light. Nothing. I'm not trying to say wildlife photography is over hunting. It's the same thing, but the tough part with wildlife photography is finding an animal in good light when they're not in the shadows, and because when it all lines up, it's just like magic, and it's so cool and special. But that's what I really enjoy about wildlife photography is it's so hard to get those perfect pictures where the light is beautiful. It's hard enough to find wildlife sometimes, but
Yeah.
when you got to line everything up, and when it does, it's just like awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Like we were talking before we started recording. You said it's hard enough to find wildlife just in general. I mean, we were talking. You haven't seen a moose yet this 2026 year, and you've been out putting some miles on and walking and stuff.
Yeah, I've probably put on at least probably 30 miles on my feet, and I haven't seen a moose.
Yeah,
And I mean,
yeah,
I'm following moose tracks. Like
yeah,
I'm in good areas. I know they're there. You're just not seeing them. Yeah, it's just
yeah,
the way it is. Yeah.
yeah. Same. I haven't seen one yet either. I'm not necessarily walking. I'm trying to do stuff as fast as I can. So when I go out looking for moose, I'm dropping my daughter off at daycare at 7 in the morning,
Hmm.
driving 2 hours north, getting off, dropping the sled, riding 3-4 hours, following moose tracks,
Yep.
just riding everywhere, and get back and picking her up at 3. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I would love to get out and walk, but I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
on a timeline. So I'm
You're,
like, follow moose tracks for a bit. I'm like,
yeah.
There's nothing. Let's go to
Yeah.
the next one.
You're covering ground. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
same, haven't seen a moose at
But
all.
you know what? They're just in that survival mode. And I find like you, the rut ends, and then they're out feeding and stuff, and
Yeah.
they're still kind of easy to find. But as soon as that rut ends, they're back into that survival mode, and you might see a bull at 300 yards, but try to get within 100 yards of them.
Hmm.
It is friggin' hard. And this year I don't know, this year I struck out a lot, and it was just kind of bad timing, right place or wrong place, wrong time kind of deal. Wind was always wrong where I seen the moose, and it was a lot of things didn't line up, but man, to get close to those buggers after the rut, ugh, it's tough.
Yeah. And I've always kind of wondered this, because it's a pretty low snow year again.
Yeah,
For at
yeah,
least for us. I mean, I
yeah,
know I was talking about I jump off my sled a couple times and the snow's up to my waist, but that's that could be in a drift or whatever,
yep,
because it'll be really thin in another spot. But I think they're traveling a lot too. Like, yeah, they're in survivor mode, they're in food mode, but they're not contained to, say, like the snowmobile trails or the road for traveling. Like, they can still. I mean, moose are tall. They
yeah,
can still travel quite a bit.
yeah.
So
I think it takes a lot of snow to really slow them down, I
yeah,
think. Yeah. And I
yeah,
mean, like some of the tracks that I'm following, they're definitely not, I wouldn't say I think they're actually traveling between feeding areas. I don't think they're really sticking to one feeding area. It seemed
yeah,
like,
yeah. That's what I mean. Like, they
yeah,
can be like, oh, I like this over here. I'm going to go back
yeah,
over here and eat these maples today. Oh,
yeah,
I'm going to go back over here and eat this today.
yeah. Like it seemed like they were in plantations, but when I followed those fresh tracks, they were taking me elsewhere. Like it wasn't like they
Yeah.
were just in there looping around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh. Have you been
Yeah.
finding many winter rubs?
A fair amount. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Which is always exciting.
Yeah, because
Because
I'm like, well, I know there's bulls here.
and I
That's
and
nice.
I know where I'm going back this spring.
Exactly. That's what I've been doing. My Onyx is like
Yep.
plumb full
Yep.
right now of points
Yep.
for spring for sure.
So yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I mean I can still go out and have a really fun day of moosing and not see moose. If I'm seeing sign, I mean that's what I really enjoy, because you're learning. And
Yeah.
you're probably like me when you have when your toughest moose seasons, like moose hunting for you, for instance, when you have those tough seasons, that's when you learn the most. Like if
For
you're
sure.
if you're going out and seeing moose, like or you're going out and you hardly have to crack a cow call and you're hearing bulls. I mean, is that really learning? No, not really. It's just
No, that's just
repetitiveness.
knowing you're in the right place at the right time.
Exactly. Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
those tough days in the woods. That's when you really learn. Yep. So I
Yeah.
don't mind. I don't like those days, but I don't mind them.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
guess.
even sometimes when like the hunt takes the whole week, Friday or Saturday, because our hunts are 6 days, yours are five.
Yep. Yep.
Um, but like, people are like sometimes they get discouraged after like Monday, Tuesday, even Wednesday, and it's like, but you're out here in it the whole time.
Mm,
Like,
yeah.
enjoy just being out here and doing it, because you can't do this all the time.
Yeah. Exactly. You
Yeah. In your
forget
case, of
about
point, you're
that.
also learning. You're learning
Yep.
stuff. you're
Yep.
learning about the animals you're trying to chase, you know?
Yep. But I think we, as guides, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. I think more so than like a lot of the hunters or the people that I take out guiding moose. They're having a blast, and I'm like stressed right
Yeah.
out.
I'm stressed. I'm stressed well, so ours start Monday morning. I'm stressed on Monday morning after letting out the first
Yeah.
cow call. And I'm like,
You
well,
don't hear
there's
anything.
no moose.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
by like day 3, I like to get a moose down by day 3 for
Yeah.
sure.
Even just having an encounter. Sometimes it's
Oh
nice.
yeah.
Well, it's always nice to put a moose in front of,
Yep.
whoever, friend, client, whatever.
Yep.
Just seeing them. But
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
for sure. Those.
It's stressful, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But that's what makes it so much fun, right? Yep.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, geez, man, you got any other stories? Any other
Um,
cool stuff? Like,
I
because you put out you're pretty active on your content, your social media and stuff like that.
try to be,
So
yeah.
you're probably taking that all out of the archives, or is that all stuff
A,
like
a lot of it this year was from the archives because I actually had
yeah,
a really rough fall. Like I was seeing tons of
really?
moose, but like I said before, I was kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time a lot
Yeah,
this fall. When it come to my clients, their days, we were like hitting it out of the ballpark every day. But when I was out alone, it was just like a grind. It was just seeing nice bulls, and you just can't get close to them. They're paired up with cows, and the cows are going that way. And yeah,
I hate
see you later.
that.
See you later. This guy right here,
Yeah,
flat. I don't know if you can see him very good on the screen or not, but like a 60+ inch bull. Seen him again this fall. The only time I seen him, he was following a cow and a calf. He was 250 yards away, and followed them into a little beaver pond area,
yeah,
and never did find him. I get in there after them, but yeah, that's the way she goes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, for instances like that, do you ever run a drone?
I do have a drone. Yeah, for
Do you do like
scouting.
drone
Yeah.
footage and stuff?
Yeah. I don't I'm not I wouldn't say I'm not a big fan of drone footage. I use my drone for scouting.
Yeah,
I use it for some of my shoots, like for building a story around my hunts and stuff like that.
yeah, B-roll
Um,
type stuff.
yeah, but as far as using a drone to get images, I don't really see. It's kind of like using trail camera pictures.
Yeah.
I don't see.
Okay, I haven't heard that analogy.
Yeah,
Putting them together like that.
like I don't see. There's no, as far as putting a drone up in the air and finding a moose and taking a picture of it, I don't see the challenge in that at all. That doesn't
Yep.
impress me, I guess is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Um, what impresses me are guys that can get in on animals with a camera when they're on their feet and spend time with an animal, because that's my biggest challenge, is not just seeing an animal but spending time with it
Yeah.
and having them kind of almost like basically chill out and basically accept that and share the space with you. That's
Yeah.
my challenge. So when I see other photographers doing that, that's what really impresses me. So I'm not really I actually do have some cool drone footage of moose that I could share, but it's
Yeah.
not, I guess I don't,
Oh, it's cool. I respect
I
that.
I
Yeah.
don't want to downgrade it, but
Yeah.
it's just not my jam, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
agree with you. I think I use drone. Well, I try to
Mm-hmm.
use drone. I just got
Yep.
one this year, like one of like the $350 DJI ones.
Yep.
And it kept giving me gimbal malfunctions this past hunting season when I was going out to scout, so I just kind of like threw it in the back of the truck. Anyways, so I finally took it back out and I took some like B-roll with it
Yep.
down in Texas, and
Yep.
I launched it off the back of the sled yesterday to get B-roll and stuff like that. I think they're great for B-roll. Scouting,
Yep.
if I could actually get it to work when I want it to, that
Yeah.
would be phenomenal.
Oh, it's awesome for scouting.
Yeah.
And like I have used it where I've gone up in the air and seen a nice bull and then brought it back down and in after the bull I go.
Yeah.
So I have used it that way. But yeah, as far as just taking pictures, nah, it's not for me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Yep.
cool, man.
Yep.
I like that.
I want to feel that same, what I should maybe say this, with wildlife photography, when I got my nice bull in 2015, that was like an experience. Like everybody who has ever shot a moose has experienced that. Just bang bang. You know what it's all
Mhm.
about, right?
That adrenaline's
That
pumping. Yeah.
adrenaline. And when I encounter moose with my camera, I get that same rush that I remember back then. And with my camera, I am able to experience that multiple times a year. I can
Yeah.
sneak in on a spring moose that's all raggedy and hardly any, any antler development at all.
Yeah.
But when
Little
you're,
nubs.
yeah, little nubs, but when you're close to a 1,000-pound animal within, like, 20, 30 yards, that is like nothing beats it.
I
Yeah.
get that with any animal,
And
whitetail, like
any animal,
anything.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, yesterday morning, I was set up on a deer carcass out on the St. John River here, and I was hoping for eagles to come in, but a couple
Yeah.
coyotes came in, and
Yeah.
that was just, it just gets the old ticker going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure. Those coyotes still alive?
there, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I shot over 1,500 rounds at them and missed every one.
That's funny.
Yeah, I got some great content, so that was cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's cool, man.
yeah.
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 Was it like your carcass, like your pile, or were you with somebody
No,
else?
no, it
Yeah.
was, there was just, like a dead winter kill on the river.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
So
so
yeah.
just a random winter kill, and my buddy seen it, and he said there was a bunch of eagles on it,
Yeah.
so I went and checked it out, and so there was a few eagles around, but, the
Yeah.
coyotes come in and took over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So,
It's pretty cool.
yeah.
Well, awesome, man. You got anything else to add? You got
Um,
any special pointers or tips for maybe some listeners that want to? Because I know we actually have a couple other like small independent type photographers. They reach out to us all the time and stuff like that. You
mhm.
got any pointers for people or anything? Or
Um, if you're into wildlife photography or wanting to get into it, you can learn a ton from hunters. I know this is just kind of something I was thinking earlier this morning, and I've thought of it and talked about it before, is a lot of the wildlife photographers in the world are kind of, I don't want to put them in a spot or anything, but it seems like there's a lot of anti-hunters that are wildlife photographers.
I've noticed that too. I think I see that quite a bit, kind of in like social media groups and stuff
Yes.
like
Yeah,
that, like
you'll see it a
photography
lot.
groups. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think they're missing out because I have learned so much from being a hunter myself and learning from other hunters, like listening to you guys. If you're a wildlife photographer and you want to learn a ton about moose, check out the OMM Moose Hunting podcast because you will learn a ton. I guarantee you,
Yeah.
because I have, and there's a lot of experiences just from listening to your guys' hunts. So yeah, there's a tip right there. Learn from hunters and don't be shy and don't be get against hunters because we're at the end of the day we're all on the same page. We all want to we're all about conservation
Yep.
and at the end of the day it's all about the animal's best well-being. And so yeah, yep, there's a tip.
Yeah. Awesome. We'll have to tune in again for another tip. Just one tip per episode.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I
Yeah.
can't give you everything. I want to come back on someday.
Yeah. No, absolutely, man. Yeah. Maybe we'll get together again after, because geez, we're in what, February now? Maybe after shed season.
Yeah, like
I'm checking
I'd
to see how shed season went.
we doing some serious shed hunting this summer for sure, or spring.
Yeah.
But I got to come down and meet you guys someday.
Yeah. I didn't know
Yeah.
you were that close. You're not too far away.
Yeah,
A couple hours.
yeah,
Yeah.
because like I'm literally 2.5 drive. I can be in Bangor.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Cool, man. Awesome. Well, we're almost at the 50-minute mark. That's cool. It's a
oh
good
yeah,
episode. Yeah. Well, thanks, man, for jumping on today.
yeah.
Sorry I was a little bit late, but
It's all right. We're not
yeah,
live, so it
we
don't
got it
matter.
done. Yeah. Hopefully, to everybody that's watching or listening, hopefully this came out good. Like I said, this was the first time I have used this virtually. I've used this software for editing and stuff like that, but this is actually Nathan's my first virtual guest. So we'll see how this goes. I want to do more of these because it's hard to meet up with every single person that you're trying to do an episode with. Like, I don't know if we would have been able to do one together if I was like, nope, we got to do this in person.
If you would have said
Yeah.
that, I would have come down to your place. I guarantee.
I should have said that.
Yeah, I would have been. Yep, let's go. Let's go.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, but hey, I hopefully this worked out good, and yeah, hopefully everybody that's listening or watching got something out of this, and go ahead and give Nathan a follow. And on what is it? What's your tags?
Just look under like Nathan Robinson Photography on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, and it'll
Yeah.
pop up.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's got some good
You'll
stuff
see,
going on. It's
you'll see my logo right there.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah, and learning, like you were talking about learning from hunters. I like watching your stuff. I
Yep.
think I was watching your stuff even before I
Yeah.
took over this podcast and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
And I think
yeah.
that's a two-way street. I think there's a lot of hunters that can actually learn from us wildlife photographers too. Because like I said earlier, I've learned more in the past few years photographing moose than I ever did in 20 years before hunting them, because I'm just spending so much time in the
Yeah.
woods and just watching them. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just in the last year that I've doing this, I've got the same intel from it, and I'm not even into amateur.
Yeah.
It's straight up beginner novice.
Yep.
But
Yep.
cool. Awesome. Hey, thanks, man. Thanks for joining. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. Take care, and God bless.